Let us learn about the timers and counters. 8051 has two 16-bit timer or counter register, that is timer or counter 0 with TL0 and TH0, timer or counter 1 with TL1 and TH1. These registers can be used as timers or as event counters. When a register is in a timer state, it gets incremented for every clock cycle. When it is programmed as a counter, the register gets incremented whenever there is a 1 to 0 transition provided at the pin T0 or at the pin T1. Both the registers are having four different operating modes. All counter actions are controlled by the bits present in the timer control register Tmod as well as the timer control register Tcon and certain program instructions. The Tmod register can be considered as two 4-bit registers of E which controls the action of one of the timers. That is, the initial 4 bits controls timer 0 and the next higher order 4 bits control timer 1. The gate bit, uh, whenever it is set, the timer counter is enabled when the INTX pin is high and the TRX pin is set. When it is cleared, the timer is enabled whenever the TRX control bit is set. The C/T timer or counter is selected, cleared for timer operation and set for counter operation. M1 and M0 decides the mode of operation of the timer or the counter. So we have three different modes. Mode 0 where it behaves as 13-bit timer, mode 1 16-bit timer, mode 2 8-bit auto reload and mode 3 is split timer mode. We will look into each of these timer mode in detail. Tcon has control bits and flags for the timers in the upper nibble and control bits and flags for external interrupts in the lower nibble. So tcon.7 is TF1 timer 1 overflow flag. It will be set by the hardware when the timer or the counter 1 overflows and it becomes 0 when the processor goes to the interrupt service routine. TR1 timer 1 run control bit. It is set or cleared by the software to turn the timer on or off. TF0 and TR0 is similar to TF1 and TR1 and it is with respect to timer 0. IE1 is external interrupt 1 flag. It will be set whenever there is an external hardware interrupt, cleared whenever the interrupt is being processed. IT1 is interrupt 1 type control bit. It is set or cleared by the software to specify falling edge or low level triggered external interrupt. IE0 and IT0 are similar to IE1 and IT1, which corresponds to external interrupt 0. The counters have been included on chip so that the processor is relieved of timing and counting work. When the program wishes to count a certain number of internal pulses or external events, a number is placed in one of the counters. The counter increments from the initial number to the maximum and then rolls over to the final pulse and sets the timer flag. The flag condition may be checked by an instruction to tell the program that the count has been accomplished and the flag may be used to interrupt the program. If a counter is programmed to be a timer, it will count the internal clock frequency of 8051 oscillator which is divided by 12. This is the timer counter structure. The resultant timer clock is gated to the timer by means of the circuit shown in this slide. In order for oscillator clock pulses to reach the timer, the C/T bar bit in the Tmod register must be set to 0, that is for timer operation. Bit TRX in the Tcon register is equal to 1 and the gate bit in Tmod register is equal to 0 or the external interrupt pin INTX bar is equal to 1. Let us learn the different timer modes. Initially is timer mode 0. The higher byte of the timer THX is cascaded with the 5 least significant bits of timer lower byte to form a 13-bit timer. Upper 3 bits of TLX are not used. Overflow occurs on 1FFFH20000H and sets the timer overflow flag. MSP in THX bit 7 and LSP in TLX bit 0. It is similar to mode 0 except that it is a 16-bit, that is mode 1 of timer. Timer higher byte THX is cascaded to the timer lower byte to form a 16-bit timer. There is an overflow whenever the count goes from 0000H to FFFFH. Timer lower byte operates as an 8-bit timer, while the timer higher byte holds a reload value. When the count overflows from FFH to 00H, not only the timer flag is set, but also the value in THX is loaded into TLX, and counting continues from this value up to next FFH to 00H and so on. Mode 3 is where the timer 0 splits into two 8-bit counters or timers. TL0 and TH0 act as two separate timers with overflow setting the TF0 and TF1 respectively. Timer 1, when timer 0 is in mode 3, timer 1 can be used in mode 0, 1 or 2. Usually we make use of mode 0, 1 and 2 for programming.